Ready to embark on a journey of limitless curiosity? Join us on the Being Curious Show, where we curiously connect teachers and seekers in a safe space, exploring a vast array of topics that spark the flame of curiosity within you. We've created a community for thoughtful discussions where teachers share their wisdom and seekers explore the depths of their curiosity. It's a space where diverse perspectives come together, fostering connection and understanding. Our intention is simple: to ignite your curiosity and create a life that totally lights you up. Hey everybody, Kelly Wagner, publisher Edge Magazine and the Being Curious Show. So we're going to jump right in. I have an amazing guest today, but I think I say that a lot, but I'm so blessed to interview some amazing people from all over the world. Today I have SiddhaRon, and he is a magical being, and I'm so happy that he is on the planet these days. I'm going to give us a little bio on him because it's magical. He's magical, here, there, and everywhere. Dr. Ron Holman, or SiddhaRon, is the visionary behind Anu Alchemy. His journey, starting in the 1990s, while seeking a cure for his wife Linda, led him to sacred sites worldwide. And yes, he's been to sacred sites worldwide. He had a heartfelt desire to discover and learn healing outside of the medical box that could restore the health of his life partner, Linda. Linda lived 29 years, longer than the doctors at UCLA liver transplant unit said was possible. He has created sacred space in Mount Shasta. He has a beautiful line of products of Ormus and crystals. Welcome to the show, SiddhaRon.
Hi, hi, hi.
Hi, hi, hi. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you for doing this, Kelly. It's wonderful what you do.
Thank you so much. So you are in the latest issue of Edge Magazine, just for everyone that has the print edition. It's page 10. And it talks about Ormus. And I'm going to give a little background on Ormus, and then you just jump right in. And I'm wondering why. Well, how about this? You tell me about Ormus. And why is it in your world? Why is it something that because it's gorgeous. You sent me some samples a couple months ago. I love it. I have it a part of my daily routine, and it's magical. So tell us about Ormus.
Sure. One of the stories is that Cleopatra bathed in milk to stay young. And the Ormus in that white, beautiful jar that you referenced is white. Cleopatra did not bathe in milk. It looks like milk. Ormus, if you use certain salts, you get white Ormus, and it rejuvenates the skin. It tightens up the skin. I have 0 wrinkles on my face. I just turned 78. The body turned 78. And besides being really good for the skin, everything from sunburns to, blemishes to acne to, ringworm, all sorts of stuff has resolved itself. And then there's the other side of it, which is, it tends to foster and ignite one's awakening to, let's just call it psychic abilities and intuition and awakening to, are we made in the image and likeness of God or not? And if we are, then hello, I've found this product, this Ormus, to support my continued awakening. And I'm so thrilled with the name of your show, Kelly. All around curiosity. Any teacher, any seeker that thinks they know something, if they're in the presence of somebody that they went to see or that they started listening to, or even, if you're drawn to that, then there's something there. I mean, when we show up like children, then the doors really open.
Right. No, you're right on. I'm actually having a t-shirt made. I saw it on a podcast. Curiosity is not a crime.
That's so great.
Isn't that great?
Uh,
I love it. Okay. So you
oh,
have so tell us more about because I know and then you also have the clear Ormus.
all right. The little bottle you have, what name is on that?
Oh my gosh, and I have my glasses. This one says Supergroup.
Right, supergroup what number?
I should know this. I have the wrong glasses on. I can't read it. Wait. Number 18. Number 18.
All right, so there's 23 supergroups, and
Tell us about the supergroups.
on my journey, I got initiated in from a variety of masters, ascended masters, and just call them the way Men in Black referenced friends from out of town.
Mm,
And I got a 7-month initiation from friends from out of town that cracked open my resistance to, let's just say, accepting my inheritance, which is the image and likeness of God.
right.
So I feel, and my experience is that that's let's just say, infinite layered opportunity, and curiosity is the key, and then love. Love is what catapulted me to, when my first wife was sent home to die in 86, she said, look outside the box, and if you find something, bring it home to me.
Mm,
I said, outside the box, are you talking about the woo-woo stuff? And she said, well, what do we have to lose? So she said, you know how to get things done. We built a multi-million dollar insurance company delivering mental health and drug and alcohol services and corporate training and employee assistance program for hundreds and hundreds, thousands of companies and organizations since we started the company. My daughter's running it now, and I get to play more and explore with curiosity. So um, these initiations um, woke me up to, let's just say, identifying and embodying uh, different energies and frequencies. So, for instance, you look at a tree. Okay, they're similar. A lot of them look alike, but pear trees produce pears and apple trees produce apples. And the frequency of those different species is similar but very different. So I started um, infusing through love and through the initiations I had these different frequencies into oils so that the spirit totem essence of that particular plant or that flower or that animal or bird could awaken in the DNA in the person that's working with it. And on the website, there's a specific energetic description that, I got downloaded, channeled, however you want to look at it. And then through my initiations, and love is the key, I infused each oil, it's like 250 oils and the energetic descriptions into supergroups. Why? Well, my second wife, Tisan Louis, who was born in Hong Kong, uh, she made her transition about 2 or 3 years ago, way too early, but she said, Ron, you got 250. That's too much for people to sort through. Why don't you consolidate them into supergroups of topics, like there's awakened money making, there's awakened more psychic abilities, there's awakened healing properties, there's opening your heart. There's 23 specific supergroups that are on the website, Anu Alchemy. And in each supergroup, there's anywhere from 2 to 44 frequencies. So people who want to go that way can just order a supergroup, and then there's a description, an energetic description of every frequency that's in that supergroup. So an example is a saying that a lot of people know and use about hawks, hawk eye. Well, why do you think that is? Well, hawks have the ability to spot a mouse at 300 yards. Now, you may not want to eat a mouse, I don't, but the point is that, to activate a vision, a ability, and that has come to me in a variety of ways. My retreat center is in Mount Shasta, and leaving here early in the morning, sometimes there's so much fog on the road, I can't even see in front of the car. Well, one time I was just like crawling along at 3 miles an hour, and I just said, okay, I would really like to open up fog vision. I had never heard that before, but it came through me. And my vision in front of my car was 200 yards.
Wow.
So we have abilities that it's only up to us to discover. So, these supergroups have this frequency in it, and it's all one. We're all one. I mean, you, Kelly, are just being a different apparent bodysuit, but we are all one and the same. And we have these individual appearances that seem different and separate. So anything that you can do, I can do. Anything I can do, you can do. And any of the listeners. It's just a matter of accepting. And this was a huge initiation I got in India from a very advanced being that hasn't eaten, slept, or drank any liquid since 2003. And God appeared to be before him of Lord Shiva and told him, go live in this cave and feed and heal everybody that comes.
Mm-hmm.
So we can wake up to any ability. I mean, what Jesus say? What I can do, you can do, and more. I mean, do you really accept that? I do.
You just completed, how many days did you fast?
I'm on about my 68th day. I did 75 days before I ate something, and then I started over again. And my fasting is both dry, which is no food, no water, and liquid. So I'm doing this because I woke up to the fact that fasting is really it's a super practice to awaken and to identify all of the thought forms and the conditioning that we took on as children from family, from friends, from society, from religion, from TV that create separation. All fear is separation. All is separation. All of our, let's just say, pointing at somebody else is separation. And that limits us. All separation limits us. So in this fast, the cells are releasing stored emotional baggage that a lot of which I didn't even know was there.
Wow. And how do you
Okay, let
feel
me tell
now
you.
that you're on 65 of phase 2 of it? Like, after you do it once, you go in with the wisdom and the tips and the tricks and the tools. How is this fast different than your last fast?
Well, it's a recommitment to what I got out of the last fast.
Okay.
And pork, rice, and beans and fish on the 75th day, with nothing being in my digestive tract except water and maybe fruit juice. And I ate because an ascended master who is in a body, I met with him and he told me to eat. And I really didn't want to eat until he communicated to me in a way that I knew it was a test. So I took the test, I ate, and it's not medically possible to eat everything that I ate without having a digestive tract reaction. And I had nothing. It was like I didn't even eat the pork or the fish or the rice, the beans, the vegetables, nothing. So that test really proved to me that something was going on with the way this bodysuit has evolved and the separation between consciousness, physical 3D reality, and I guess the oneness that I am is, I guess, way, way less than it's ever been. So I went back to dry fasting the very next day. And I've been doing dry on and off 1 day, 2 days, and then liquid. And I exercise every day. I bounce on a little trampoline to move the lymphatic system. I'm stronger and clearer than I've ever been.
Wow.
You can probably hear my voice too.
It feels stronger. It feels it's very the foundation is it's stronger. That's just the best way that I can describe it from what I hear and what I feel actually.
Yeah, we have a very high profile client here at the Mount Shasta retreat. And we either do these light body activation retreats in group, or high profile people that don't want anybody to see what they're doing come here for, a reboot. And me and my partner, my business partner, we've discovered that our ability to hold space has just gone off the chain. And while we have him fasting on liquid, just the space inside this house, and when we take him up on the mountain and stuff, he's returning to, and this is a very, very wealthy guy that his brain started getting foggy and he thinks he has parked. All this stuff is going on. And this reboot, when you fast, one of the first things to start being consumed by your own body is the mucus and the fat cells that store emotional baggage. So the first couple of days, I mean, we've taken him out a few times, then he comes back and he's in bed the rest of the day. And this is really quite normal for people that really, really drop into a deep fast. So it's really quite amazing. Don't have to really do much other than hold space and then do a little bit of, questions being answered and, you know, telling stories about, what happened to me when I was fasting and when I do fast. So, it's really quite exciting. It really, really is.
So tell us more about because I know a lot of our listeners, Mount Shasta is a sacred space that people love to pilgrim to connect with, whether it's in the physical form or virtually. Tell us a little bit about what called to you for Mount Shasta and then your retreat center.
Sure. Thank you. So after Linda died in 2018, I got remarried to a beautiful woman from Hong Kong who was in my spiritual community, and she loved Mount Shasta. And anything that she loved and wanted me to do or us to do, I did. I mean, she
Mm,
told me that she never had a wedding, and we put on a wedding that was just over the top. It was funny. Like 2 weeks before the wedding, she says, "I'd like the band that we saw at the Bhakti Fest with the Whirling Dervish to dance at our wedding." This is 2 weeks before the wedding, right?
right.
So I get on the phone. I start calling. I got a hold of the manager and I told him what I wanted. He says, "We're flying out that night." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, what do you think double your fee would do for you?" He said, "Well, I can give you an hour." I said, "Give me an hour and a half and it's a deal." So, they came in and it was just whirling dervish. He spun for 30 minutes. So, as a businessman, as an insurance company owner, my life is surrendered to God. And I know that God not only has my back, but guides me. And, it's just Tisan wanted to come here and we did. And on the third visit, we met a guy and he wanted to know what we wanted to do when we grew up. And we said, "Well, we want to open a healing center." And he says, "Well, you got a minute?" He took us to this house. I walked in the door, 14-foot window outlining Mount Shasta. I made an offer 20 minutes later and they accepted it, and the house wasn't even for sale.
Wow.
So when life is supposed to unfold for you, and this is for you, for me, for the listeners, and I need to hear this as much as anything, it's going to happen. It's going to happen automatically. There's going to be, if you have to stress and try and work hard, maybe you do that when you're younger, but at some point you wake up to the fact that when you're in the flow, life comes to you, it flows. So 5 acres, a 3,000 square foot home. I built a 1,700 square foot cedar deck right outside the uh, uh, the north side of the house. It faces a mountain. I got a jacuzzi, a sauna, two cold plunges, four bouncers, weights, a vertical table. And, we work out every day here, sometimes twice or three times a day. And then there was an outbuilding with a 2,000 square foot garage for a 50-foot motor home and 10 cars and workshops, and I turned that into a temple. And it's all tongue and grooved. It's beautifully carpeted, two-way fireplace, two healing rooms. Uh, I found uh, an organization in Italy that makes these incredible, beautiful gongs that I had shipped over here. And two things. I do retreats here myself, and or people that we resonate together can rent my space for their retreat, whether it's 3 4 days or 2 weeks or a month. So, and I'm in the process of doing some landscaping that is just out of the ballpark. It's just so beautiful the way this young woman is doing the landscaping, and her husband is doing all the carpentry work and the refining of the beauty of the space inside. And it's just so much fun. It's just really, really a lot of fun. Um,
I can tell they're just really putting a lot of love into it.
it is. It really is. I mean, there's bark all over the ground and white rock trails and flowers, and it's really, really coming together nicely.
It feels beautiful, and just letting the listeners know, you can check out, at anualchemy.com. You go to the top bar and it says Mount Shasta Retreat, and SiddhaRon has some beautiful pictures. So if you are curious or you would like to experience, and I know he has retreats throughout the year, or you'd like to rent it yourself, it's a great space. It's beautiful and extremely sacred. You'll feel it when you see the pictures.
Yeah, I have plans, maybe next year to bring in a whole bunch of geodesic domes for, sort of a really upgraded glamping experience here on the property. And I have purchased a quartz sphere that's going to be in a dome by itself. And this quartz sphere is larger than a Volkswagen Bug. It weighs 11,000 pounds.
Of course it does. Ron, like, where do you find an 11,000 pound quartz sphere? And I
You
was
find
just about to ask you about
it-
crystals, so you just rolled right into this for me.
yeah, I love crystals. I love gemstones. I have, and maybe we'll do a show sometime just on that and have callers come in. But I started talking to gemstones in 1999, and I have talked to probably 30 or 40,000 gemstones. I wrote down, the way you talk to a gemstone is you introduce yourself. Hey, this is SiddhaRon. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm so happy that you are here. You are a beautiful diamond or sapphire, whatever it is. And what are you here to bring to the human realm? And then you tune in. And for me, it sometimes comes in words, sometimes it comes in pictures, sometimes, there's a visual. And then I write down what the gemstone transmits to me. And then, that can go into categories also. I have a lot of gemstones that are here to do psychic work, that are to do financial work. It's kind of like the super groups, but it's a gemstone that can be made into an energetic talisman that activates that energy when you wear it, or it's a necklace, or a pendant, or that you carry in your pocket. My business partner, I gave her a money making talisman to wear, and she does psychic readings at the Mystic Journey in Santa Monica, and God, within a month, wandered into the store, three super influencers that had readings from her, love her, started touting her on their podcast. And she's so busy now, she can't even hardly keep up. So, life is so curious, and love is really the key, whether you're, teaching, or whether you're searching for something, or, I mean, all relationships that I've been in with my two soulmates have been really, love is the exploding factor of, our love and of our opening up to each other and learning. I mean, men really did. I was trained good by my wives to really to kind of shut up and listen sometimes.
Mm,
And we men have to learn to do that, because I don't know. I was raised by an Italian mother. God bless her. She raised me to be a prince. And God, my sisters really didn't like that much. And I didn't know any better until,
right.
my soulmate wives started teaching me.
That is brilliant. And the statements of men aren't supposed to cry and men are supposed to be strong, I just that is such a disservice for the men and the little boys out there. But I do feel,
Let me,
in my observation, that the younger generation of boys that are becoming men are cracking that
yeah,
open. And
let me give you the men that are listening and the women, so that, they can teach their men, is that my vulnerability, when I'm vulnerable, it is one of the most powerful states that I can step into. And
Absolutely.
I know who I am, and I know what my inheritance is that I'm stepping into. And I express what's going on with me, whether it's painful. I mean, I can't even tell you when my second wife died, I cried and screamed for 2 months.
Yeah.
I saw two ducks in my pool in my backyard, a male and a female. I started crying. I went to the market, saw a couple walking out holding hands. I started crying. And, you know, after a while, and with my prayer and the support of God, I started remembering more of the sweetness and of the joy that we shared together. And that's really mostly all I have anymore with
Right.
Tisa is the joy and the all of the grief is really about attachment. And the natural thing that happens to most couples is they start subtly identifying with each other. And I think that I didn't know that, and I think most people don't know that. And that's what then when one leaves or there's a breakup or whatever, there's nothing but pain there. Well, we create that ourselves through, you know, seeing ourselves as the other person, which is true. And it is also, um, from a highest perspective, it's true. And from a 3D reality perspective, it's not true. So when you have that distinction, discernment, that's good. But most people really haven't got there yet.
No, I completely agree on every level. That's a beautiful observation.
Well, I spent a lot of time investigating. I have a PhD in psychology, a master's degree in counseling. I've had thousands and thousands and thousands of patients, and clinically, I was the go-to for all sorts of odd things that our clients would run across, and the people that would come in, and really, it boils down to God and follow your heart and common sense. In counseling and psychotherapy is more than what you get in school. So most people kind of give up their own creativity and follow whatever teaching they've subscribed to, and think that that's the answer. Well, it's one answer.
Right.
And my years of this has blended a lot of answers together to where when I sit with somebody, I tune into who they are. And within a minute, they are telling me why they're there rather than most counselors in the last 5 minutes. The patient or the person that's coming in actually reveals why they're really there.
Right.
Anyways.
I think that's powerful. Well, I want to encourage our listeners to definitely connect with you at anualchemy.com. And you can be curious about Ormus. You can check out the Mount Shasta Retreat Center. And then SiddhaRon has some magical crystals. You can tell if someone has a crystal the size that you do, you must really love your crystals and they must really love you. So I just can't thank you enough for being on today. Is there anything that you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, just remember who's in charge. God, 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 God. And absolutely abandon and surrender to that you are in the depth of your heart, in the depth of your love. And that's it. That's the real doorway to constantly go through and to surrender into, to remember to surrender, to speak God, God, God.
That's beautiful. Hey, you guys, make sure that you have your current print edition of the Edge magazine because SiddhaRon is on page 10 with Ormus. The next October edition, which we just sent to the printer, he's going to be talking about his crystals. Very, very magical. Thank you so much for being here today, sir. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Kelly. Love you.
Explore your higher consciousness with the Edge Media Platform. We're a multimedia platform dedicated to connecting curious teachers and seekers in a safe, welcoming space. Dive into spiritual growth with our print magazine, digital content, podcasts, and in-person experiences. Whether you're seeking wisdom or sharing it, we're here to inspire and uplift your journey. Here, there,